After Hours.
On this episode of the History of the Course After Hours podcast, we discuss the band from Newark, New Jersey known as My Chemical Romance. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurviveByPro for news and the latest episode postings. Make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta. Army surrounded.
Welcome back to the History of the Course After Hours podcast, where each and every episode I, Curtis, sit down with my good friend and avid listener to the History of the Course podcast, Erik. Erik, hello. Welcome to another podcast episode.
Your car warranty has expired. Press 3 to send me all of your money.
We've been trying to get a hold of you about your car's extended warranty. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, it's pushing on into summer, so we are getting all the dates put out there for all of our wonderful touring friends. It's all quite exciting. So,
Yeah. Did you ever decide to go to mailing or not?
On the fence. Definitely on the fence.
Still sitting on that fence. It's getting very uncomfortable. My butt cheeks are falling asleep.
Definitely coming up quick. So I have purchased half a dozen tickets in the last month already.
It's the truth. I've seen the calendar.
Yeah,
this guy's got a busy summer scheduling. Yeah, they got a busy summer coming up here.
Well, since you've seen the calendar, I think I bought 2 more.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. Wouldn't surprise me one bit, buddy.
I'm excited. We got a lot of tours going on, and there's even a couple I'm like, I really want to, but I don't think I could fit it in at this point.
As he pull out those pockets, is like, I ain't got nothing left. Oh man.
Well, and it's time too, because some of these are like Thursday nights and Tuesday nights and stuff. It's like, man, I got a job. I got to be at work tomorrow.
I got to be able to pay for these tickets. So
that is true. Functioning is important,
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I'm very excited. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Some that we've talked about on here. Others we have yet to, but we might. Who knows?
Others in the future.
Maybe
one
so.
Day. One day in the future. Someday, buddy.
We'll get there.
Someday we'll get there. There's a long waiting list ahead that we got to dig through and cipher through first. But hey, speaking of waiting list, how about this band that's on the waiting list for you and I to talk about, Erik? A little band known as My Chemical Romance. Whoa. So as always, Erik, I like to introduce. I like to start an episode. Well, I like to start off an episode like that. I like to start an episode with a couple of usual questions that I start off with here. First one, how are you introduced to the band known as My Chemical Romance? Spotlight.
Ooh, it's rather warm in here. I would definitely have to say it's probably Black Parade.
Really?
I do remember very vividly. Yeah, I'm a latecomer to this one.
Okay.
I do remember very vividly trying to watch very quietly in the school library the Welcome to the Black Parade and Famous Last Words videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, in the middle of the school library, trying to holding the little speaker up to my ear. This is so cool, guys.
Oh man, he's whispering to you.
Yeah.
When I was a young boy.
Hold on, I gotta turn this up. And then it starts blasting, and then I turn it way down.
You turn it way down again. Yeah. Crap.
Anybody's. Yeah, I remember very vividly doing that. So I don't even know. I think YouTube was still available in schools at that point, man. I don't know. I
I
don't know
was
how I
about to
managed
say,
that. But
did they ever monitor what you guys were like looking on the computer? Because when I was in school,
oh yeah,
like
yeah. I was
just
sitting there
the
like,
yeah,
don't look.
well, I mean like when I was in high school, the computers in the library, they actually had like monitors up at the front desk where they could like look at
Oh,
what you were looking at. Yeah, because there was a couple of times like after school. It's not that I was looking at anything bad, but they were just like they were very strict about like if you're going to use our computers, it has to be for um, schoolwork or whatever. Well, I mean, after school, I didn't have anywhere to go and waiting for people to pick me up. And so I just, go find a computer sometimes, just kind of do whatever. And I got kicked out several times for that stuff. It's like, I'm not doing anything. It's not like I'm looking at porn or anything. People, come on now. you know,
right. It's just like My Chemical Romance. Oh
I got
wait,
the
that doesn't
decency to
sound
do
bad.
that at home, but no, I'm just kidding. right.
How about that dirty laundry? We're airing that right out today.
right, exactly. That's that dirty laundry I was just talking about earlier.
Oh, oh,
This has gone off the rails. Let's get back on
really
track here.
quickly.
Okay, so oh boy. Okay, so I only have 4 albums. But a brand new listener comes up to you, says, I want to listen to My Chemical Romance, but I want to know what I'm getting into first, before I hit that first song. How would you describe My Chemical Romance to a brand new listener, Eric?
Like a punkish emo, like even
Oh, I
pop
like
punk
that.
at
Emo
times.
punk. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Maybe a
Very.
little
I would.
post-hardcore
Yeah.
mixed in here and there.
Yeah. I would. I'd probably straight up go emo punk with a light sprinkling of some pop punk and post hardcore. Probably more post hardcore.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
melodic
Yeah.
nature of it makes me feel post-hardcore, but
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree.
like I said, the old school emo feels watching or
Yeah.
listening to some of this, watching some of those videos. Makes me want to get my
Eric,
hair back and flip
right.
it.
Makes me want to get my wig out. Just like,
Yeah, right.
I bought a wig just for nostalgia reasons. Oh
Or
my
listen to
goodness.
MCR.
Yes. High school. Yeah.
Let's get my
Okay.
lip pierced and everything else.
Oh gosh. The eyeliner. I never was like an eyeliner or
Uh,
black nail paint or any nail paint, but
no,
yeah.
no, me
Anyway,
neither. But
the jeans and the band t-shirt, that was my extent. Well, and the long hair. That was my
yeah,
extent
yeah,
of it all. Eric, are you a comic book fan at all?
a little bit, I
A
suppose.
little bit here and there. Okay, okay. Well, here's my little trivia question for you, Eric.
Oh, early.
What comic book brand did My Chemical Romance vocalist Gerard Wade sign with before starting the band?
Hmm.
It's a well-known one, I'll
Mhm.
give you that. It's not just like some random, or whatever.
I want to say DC, but Dark Horse is kind of
No,
lingering in
no,
my mind
you
as
had
well.
it. You had it, man. No, you had it.
I'll go with
DC.
DC. I'll go with DC.
Yep.
Oh,
You
how about
had
that?
DC, buddy. Yeah, you had it. That's good, man. Yeah, it's crazy to think that he was gonna be a comic book writer for DC Comics before any thought in his mind of starting a band, or playing music for the rest. It's just crazy how one little thing,
That's
because
wild.
he's talked about, which is weird of all things, but he's talked about 9/11 was the tipping point for him to start a band. Don't think I've heard anybody else ever say that before, but okay. And that's cool. He's got his reasons for it. But it's weird to think that if something like that didn't happen, we probably never would have gotten My Chemical Romance.
Wow.
As tragic as it was, to say I don't want to be like, but anyway, yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
Interesting little fact there for you, buddy. And I think he's still doing comic books to this day too. It's kind of, I don't
Yeah, he
want to say
did
either
some
one,
for.
either. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say he did some for. Was it Black Parade, like the 20th anniversary or something or other, wasn't it?
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Some
I didn't know
anniversary.
that.
I don't remember. I was
Oh,
thinking there
nice.
was one special edition for something or other.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe it was a VIP ticket pass or something that I
Maybe
saw.
so.
That could be it.
Yeah, I don't want to say either one of them, the comic book side or even the band is the side, hobby or project or whatever. I think it's very
Right.
good split. But yeah, it's just
And not to say that he
crazy.
did it either. I don't know, but it just
Well,
knowing
yeah,
his background and then seeing, where he's at
right,
today, definitely
right.
could have been him doing that. And like I said, I think it was a VIP, like the junk, all the stuff that they give you on the
Mhm.
VIP stuff. Not that I'd know. I'm a po' boy personally, but my younger
So I
brother
just want
actually
to get
has
in the
done some
doors.
VIP tickets. Right,
Yeah.
right. And they send you a package, like a care package to begin
Mhm.
with, and then they send you of course, your little VIP sticker tag thing that you wear around your
Right,
neck,
yeah.
and then, like I said, all sorts of paraphernalia and stuff. And
So you can be like Wayne and Garth on Wayne's World when they got the passes. They're just like, hey, yeah, VIP, VIP, man, VIP.
absolutely.
I mean, what's the
So,
point? You gotta show that off, man. Hey, VIP, VIP. Yeah,
because I'm the
yeah.
man.
Can we both agree that overall this is a great band?
This is a pretty good band. Yeah.
Okay. I wondered, yeah, I was always kind of like, I don't really know exactly how he feels about My Chemical Romance. But fear not, we're gonna figure it out in this episode. We're gonna get to the bottom of this, man.
Getting to the
Yeah.
nitty gritty of it,
Eric's an onion, and I'm gonna peel him back. I'm gonna figure out what's
layer
going
by
on underneath
layer.
there, layer by layer. Okay, so I asked Josh at the beginning of the first episode. I asked him, what he felt was the driving force in this quintet. We've talked about driving forces before in previous episodes. We both said that the guitar work of Ray Toro and Frank Iero, yeah, it hits hard, man. Great riffs. It's good little thing going on there. But in the end, I think with no real debate or argument about it, we both agreed that it was Gerard Way's vocals. He's got a very infectious singing style that just makes you want to sing along. I mean, I don't think I know anybody that liked My Chemical Romance that they just sat there, arms crossed and just listened and be like, yeah, it's good. No, if you're listening to My Chemical Romance, you're more than likely singing along with it because it's just so infectious. Um, but yeah, we both said that, but we also agreed that nobody really could like fill his spot. If he left the band, if you pull like an Aaron Gillespie or whatever from Under Oath, nobody's filling that spot. Daniel Davison did a good job in drums on Under Oath, but didn't get to mention that on the Under Oath episode. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, nobody's gonna fill Gerard Way's spot. At least they may be able to fill it, but they're not. He's way up here. Everybody else is gonna be down here, man. If they're even lucky to get to that point. Um, I want your opinion on it though. Do you feel the same way, or is there another instrument in the band that fills that spot of the driving force?
I do feel like the guitar work is pretty indicative of the band, but kind of like you were saying, if you pull all the parts away from each other and just show me Gerard's vocals, I'm going to be like, hey, that's MCR. I'm not going to be like, I know that guitar from somewhere, but I just can't quite place it. Which, like I
Right.
said, when you all put it all together, absolutely, yeah, that's MCR's guitar. But you pull it apart from each other, Gerard's vocals are the thing that makes me go, yeah, that's definitely MCR.
At times it's almost like theatric, his vocals,
Yes,
you know?
definitely. I was
And
watching the videos this morning for let's see, Welcome to the Black Parade and
mhm,
Famous Last Words.
mhm, yep,
And I know it's a video, so he's not necessarily singing, but the way he is, that showmanship, that whatever it is that you want to call it that he's doing during those videos, like you said, it's infectious. It makes you want to sing along, makes you want to jump in the mosh pit or whatever.
right.
It's
Yeah,
a lot of fun, and I can see how he is the front man, not just the lead singer,
right.
but the front man.
Well, and it translate over into not just from like the music videos, but even to like their stage presence. It because we talked about what they did on the Black Parade of donning those costumes every night of being the band members. I think there was even, I don't know if he did it every night on the Black Parade, or maybe he may have just done it on the last show or the one that they recorded for when it's like the Black Parade is dead or whatever. But I think that he starts out the show as like dressed up as the patient, and there's like a bunch of like doctors and nurses on the stages too, and the he like rips that off and it turns into his parade outfit and such. But um they're very committed to that, man, with the costumes and the theatrics and everything. But I think that's something too that's like overall it sets not just him, but like overall the band apart from a lot of other bands out there. I remember even a story in the original episode of like this is how like different these guys are from like most musicians in the genre, at least. Like they they don't go out to like the clubs afterwards. They don't hang out at the bars or late nights or whatever. It's like you can find them on their tour bus probably playing D&D or something. I think there was one of the interviews that we talked about on the original episode was they were up early the next morning going to see a early showing of Harry Potter, new Harry Potter movie. It's like these guys they're different from everybody else in the genre, and just all of that just sets them so far apart, man. But let's talk about their debut album real quick, Eric. I brought you my bullets. You brought me your love. My opinion, Josh's opinion. We'll get your opinion here in a second. We both feel like it's a great debut album. We've talked about before. Sometimes a debut album from a band is a what we sell on we're figuring it out album. It's our figure it out album.
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. But.
Yeah, doesn't really feel like that's what MCR is doing here, at least to me and Josh. It's raw, but it's still a well-produced, straight-up rock album. If you remember, from the Symphony in Peril episode, we talked about, I think the song is called Paralanda, something like that. It's the intro track to the Horse Trophy album, and it's an acoustic. Yeah, I remember we talked about, we both like acoustic tracks, but that was just a very strange intro track. And then on top of that, it was like there's no real transition into the second song, and it just felt like
very sharp.
Yeah, it just felt like it was one of those like last second decisions. It's just like, oh, we need one more song. It's like, throw that in at the very beginning, or whatever. Not so much here on I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love, as the intro track is the acoustic song Romance, which in my opinion, Eric, goes so well with not just the album, because there is a little bit of a transition into the next song, but I always like listening to that track and looking at the album artwork, because I feel like they go together, man. There's something about it. So they kind of like Spanish sounding guitar with the effect on it, and then just kind of like that old like vintage looking like album artwork, like a little Houdini guy in the background hanging upside down, all chained and everything. But you heard my opinion now. You've heard Josh's opinion on it, because I think that's Josh's favorite album, if I remember correctly. What do you think about their debut album, I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love?
I mean, it ain't bad.
It's all right, I guess.
It is a good place to start. Like,
yeah,
I know a lot of these bands have that figure it out album. They're, just dipping their toe in the water. They don't know what they're doing. I feel like from day one, we knew what we were doing here.
Yeah.
We started in it was not a questioning place. It's not shaky ground. We started on the first stair, and we're taking leaps and bounds with each and every one beyond that, really. So they're heading where they want to go right from the start. They're not going, well, there's 3 sets of stairs. Which way do we go? No, they found their set and they're going up.
Yeah, which is still even more incredible with the fact that it's like that wasn't even like his plan wasn't even to do music. It's like all of a sudden she's like he changed on a dime. It's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to do this. I still want to do this. I'm kind of putting that on the back burner, but I want to focus on this music thing. And then to come out so hard like that is like, oh man, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
speaking of that, I did look up what I'm thinking of was the that 20th anniversary tour of They're Only Chasing Safety from Under Oath.
Mhm.
Their VIP tickets include a some sort of full color standard size comic book
They're only chasing
from
safety?
Sumerian. Yeah, from Sumerian Comics.
Weird.
So I
Okay.
think if I remember right, MCR has done something like that before. There's been a lot of bands that have, but just that's the one I was thinking of when I was saying that earlier.
Hmm.
So
I
I knew
never
I'd
would have
seen that
guessed
pretty
Under Oath.
recently.
That's funny. Huh. Okay.
Hey,
Well.
you know,
Hmm. Okay, so this band, when we talked about it before, they only have 4 albums in their discography so far. Who knows what the future is going to
so
look
far.
like? Well, we'll get there. Um, but it seems like every time that they do an album, they never create it with the intent of having like a strict, concrete concept storyline. It's more of a, well, here's some characters and here's like an overall theme, situation. Just kind of like put them in a blender and you figure out what it is or whatever. For example, their sophomore album, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, which we'll go more into depth here in just a little bit. It tells of a man who makes a deal with the devil to stay the love of his life by killing and bringing him the souls of 1,000 men. There's a fan theory out there, Eric, that their debut album and Three Cheers stories are actually connected. Fans feel that it's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde like story where death comes to Bonnie, leaving Clyde to deal with the devil in Three Cheers. Is it just is this just an obsession by fans? Or do you think there really is like some type of connection? Because I think they even like the bands come out and said, well, there's not really like a story to the first album, but it still kind of feels like there's something there, though, you know? So is it just obsession? Because I mean, MCR fans do seem kind of obsessed with them. Or do you feel like, in your own opinion of listening to these 2 albums, that there may be some connection storyline wise?
I did look kind of quickly and vaguely into this. I didn't see anything 100% concrete for sure. I could kind of see it, but then again, I kind of like Easter eggs and let's put the board up on the wall. Let's connect all the little dots,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Um,
I want yarn everywhere.
yes, and it's kind of a cool thought that it could be connected. But if not, they're both still good independent records, independent of
Yeah,
one another.
right.
So I mean, either way, you're not looking bad. But like I said, I can kind of sort of see it. But then again, it's got 2 similar things going on. And I think even Josh said in the original episodes that you could almost kick Welcome to the Black Parade in there, really, as far as,
Yeah, that was kind of
you
an
know,
interesting theory there.
that little headcanon theory there. I was like, I could almost see that too, made a
Why
deal
are
with the
you
devil,
planting the
brought her
seed in my
back,
brain?
but
Yeah.
here's this thing. Now you have cancer because that's my deal to get her back. Whatever
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how Josh put that, but something in
Something
that
along the
neighborhood.
lines of that, yeah.
And I was like, hold up a second. That holds a little too much water. Just
You
let me
shut your
sit back
face,
and think.
man. Right, exactly.
But
But see,
but it was
that right,
interesting. Like I said, it's such a thin concept that you can draw lines between it, really.
right. But that's to
So
me, that's the way to do it is when you're wanting to write concept albums or even just albums in general, you want to have these little Easter eggs in them. Don't go out there and be like, yeah, this album is about such and such, and this song is from the point of view of that, and then this next one talks from this and that, and now this storyline. Don't do that. I don't like leave some of it open for me as a fan to go dig into it because you and I are, like you said, we're both fans of like the little Easter eggs. And I feel
mhm.
like, at least for me personally, it's like if I find one, I start getting like I'm start foaming at the mouth. It's like there's gotta be more, man.
Oh,
Where's
there's
more,
more
more,
here. I knew
more,
it.
And it
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
becomes like a drug, It's like I need more information. And yeah, I feel like that's how you do it. And that's good fan interaction, Eric. That's what it's all
right.
about, right? Fan interaction. So,
I will say I like one of two ways.
Mhm.
This way, I like that. I like the Easter eggs. I like kind of the thin line I can put between everything. But I also like, say, over the top kind of, themed and whatnot albums. Um, Unleash the Archers had two albums back to back that were about a character called the Immortal,
Mhm.
and the lead singer Brittany came on to YouTube to explain the background, and to the point of, yeah, this is getting kind of a lot, so we're going to make a D&D session out of it.
Oh my gosh.
So to my understanding, they literally were writing a D&D book to go with the
Wow.
story of the Immortal and all the things going on with that, because there's
Okay.
so much background to it. So I went one of, I either went to find my Easter eggs, or over here on this side, there he is. I want to, be told exactly where it's all, and I want the background of it. Give me an origin story. Uh, you know, MCU fans, they want our origin story, right?
Right.
Where did he come from? Where is he going? How about that Cotton Eye Joe, right? But anyway,
Oh my gosh.
where are the
Nice.
rails again? I think we're
Nice.
way off.
We left them behind. We're walking in the desert now, buddy. Train left
Oh,
us.
that's fun.
Okay, so let's talk a little more about their sophomore album, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Hip hip, hooray! I really felt like, yeah, I really felt like this album sent them over the top. I don't think a lot of people were exposed to their first album, obviously when it came out. Um, I mean, it got to the point I think where they were giving it away for free, basically, on some social media site back in the day. Um, which nothing wrong with that, you're just trying to get your name out there at that point, right? But Three Cheers comes out. I really feel like this is you. The first time I ever heard them was the song "I'm Not Okay" from Three Cheers. It was on a local radio station,
Trust
and
me.
yeah, I'm not. Trust me, just trust me. I'm not okay. Not okay.
I can't make all the
So I,
faces he makes in those videos because he gets wild with that microphone.
yeah, that theatrics right back on it, man.
Right? It
Yeah. So
is.
anyway,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like this was a big monumental album for them, a big step forward. Um, but in your opinion, Eric, how monumental was their sophomore album?
So for me, I came in on Black Parade and then I kind of went backwards, right?
Mhm.
Um, so heading backwards from that, this album really holds its own. It holds water. It is a good album by itself. Um, Even now, my friends who are elder emo, we still go back to this one. The guys who still wear Vans, but now we put our insoles in there so
Our
our backs don't
insoles
hurt.
and the Vans.
Yeah,
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 man.
yeah. That's better.
Right.
So, but we still go back to it. It still hits so good. As far as the hits on it go, um, I think I saved more from this album as I was going through discography than any of the others.
Oh
Just there's
wow.
no
Okay.
flat spots in it for
There
me.
is there is no
It
flat
just
spot, buddy.
it rolls, it plays.
Hmm.
So yes,
Yep.
quite
I
a good
agree.
album.
Well, let's talk about one of those songs real quick, Eric. How about that opener, Helena? In your opinion, is it one of the best intro tracks to a record of all time?
It is a good place to start. It always reminds me of the sound bit, this little soundbite thing from a local radio station, and they would play it 3 or 4 times a day. I don't remember exactly what station it was at this point, and I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. But it's got this like Bill Clinton sounding voice going, "Can you play me something that really starts slow and then builds and builds and explodes with guitars and passion?" And that's
I
kind of the
don't
way
remember
this one
that.
works for me. It just,
That's funny.
but anyway, they would always play that soundbite, and that's kind of this thing. It builds, it starts this slow, almost acoustic-y sound, and then it really builds into something big and in your face, like you expect from MCR. And
Right.
if something starts too slow at the beginning of an album, when I know it's going to be kind of a punk or metal or whatever album, it might lose me. If it
Yeah.
starts too heavy, I feel like I started in the middle of the album. I've lost something.
Yeah.
Where's the first track?
Right. Exactly.
Anybody see it? Where'd it go?
My own shuffle.
Ah, crap. What did I do
Yeah.
that?
But
So
who
yeah,
left that on?
so definitely good place to start. And yeah, I think that's what I got on that one. I
Okay.
like Helena's a good one. I like
So
it.
good. So
Good
good,
place to
man.
start an album.
All right. A little off topic here, Eric from the band, My Chemical Romance. But I'd like to get your rating on this here little band name me and Josh came up with on the original episode of My Chemical Romance. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being boo bad to 10 being the best, rate this band name for me. Indian Ocean Tsunami.
I say it's pretty good. I'd give it a solid 7, but I still think
Oh,
that our next project, whatever we want to call it, uh, Red Fork Split,
okay. He's sticking with the Red Fork.
gives it gives homage to our kind of hometown area. It gives kind of that little tidbit of, you know, whatever's going on. It's almost devilish, like a Red Fork.
Right, yeah.
It's also got what happens at the Red Fork Split is like car wrecks and construction and rage.
Yeah, we were on the original episode. I think we're both kind of like, is it still too soon to talk about an Indian Ocean Tsunami as like a band name? It's like it's a sick
Ooh.
band name though, bro. And then I think we went down a kind of a rabbit hole, dark rabbit hole of band names that are like basically like tragedies and wars. I think he said something about at one point is at what point will 9/11 ever be an acceptable band name? And
Ooh.
then I think we started saying like, yeah, I went to go see Indian Ocean Tsunami the other night. They came with the Gulf War. It's
Oh.
just like just all these names. It's like, oh, okay, we got to get off this, man. But anyway, all right, Eric. So we had a good album, a pretty monumental album that put them on the map here. Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. We're about to come up on another album here, but before we do, I don't know, countless number of times now we have made mention and reference to the Davy Havoc quote of
Mm-hmm.
this next album is going to be the one that we are remembered by. And I feel like this can be applied to the time period between Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge and their next album, the follow up, The Black Parade. Now, I don't think of it in a bad way because Black Parade is good. I do enjoy Black Parade. I don't think it fell off the cliff or anything like some other albums from other people. Um, but I
Shots
always
fired.
felt, yeah, my favorite is Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, but I always felt like MCR's fan base always like grabbed onto Black Parade for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just like it just felt like it was like the emo like prized possession. Um, it just feels like it's definitely the most their most popular album in their discography. Um, some things to kind of support that. It's the only album that they've re-released. I haven't seen them re-release anything for Three Cheers. And on top of that, they're about to play it in its entirety at the When We Were Young festival here. I think either this summer or August, maybe. But yeah, and I always like the description of them wearing their little marching band outfits. I heard somebody say one time, um, they described them as the emo Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I was like, oh, that's perfect, man. That is
Uh,
perfect.
yeah.
Obviously, this was your entry point, in your humble beginnings of listening to My Chemical Romance. So, in your opinion, did they follow up their monumental album of Three Cheers, uh, for Sweet Revenge No, did the follow up, excuse me, did the follow up to Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge live up to the hype? There we go.
As a whole, I'd say yes, it does. Looking back on it, it does have a few more flat spots in it. What was the song name? Cancer, I think.
We
A
need
couple
more cancer
nice.
songs, buddy.
Yes, that we definitely.
We
I
definitely
cracked another
don't.
hole in my head.
We get it. We get it.
And but I mean, it's a somber song. That's what they wanted out of it. But it is kind
Right.
of a flat spot in the record. Um, but that's the nature of that concept of that. The whole thing was supposed to be about X, Y, Z. Whatever the
Right.
concept was, and it's a somber kind of feeling, and I get that. So that's kind of where those fit in, and they do well. Like you said, the as far as it embraced that kind of emo-esque culture that was going on really big at that time.
Yeah.
The I mean, I don't know. It is like one of the albums you think about, hey, back when the emos were the thing, this is the album. This and December Underground and stuff like that.
When I see the stereotypical picture of an emo kid, they always used to do the camera shots from up above, right? Little selfies. And the girls get their, thick black hair and it's all in one in their eye, eyeliner, and maybe some gloves or whatever. I always thought of Black Parade. Never fails. And even to this day, I always think of Black Parade. So there was always that connection to me, at least. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it was
with you
a
too.
big one in the scene and in that culture. It was a
Yes.
big one.
Yeah. Well, and then on top of that, you do like what, 130 some odd, 140 some odd worldwide tour just for that. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah.
It was kind of a
Um,
big deal.
yeah. I'm with you though. I think there are a couple of flat spots in the album, but it's still a great album. And that finisher, famous last
Oh
words.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
gosh, man. You left it all on the line out there, people. I'm giving you every last inch of energy and spirit that I have, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great album. Good album, man. Let's talk about their last album, their latest one, at least, if you can say 2010 is their latest. Because that just seems like forever and a day ago. Danger Days. It was influenced by the likes of, Queen and David Bowie, kind of that 80s sound. While it's still a good album, personally, it does take a slight dip. I'm not really sure, how you feel about it, because I know you like Queen, right? At
Oh
least
yeah.
some of their stuff. Are you a
Right,
David
right,
Bowie
right.
fan at all?
I'm not going to listen
Eh.
to a whole album if we're being honest,
Right,
but
yeah.
a few songs here and there occasionally.
Okay. So, how do you feel about their post-apocalyptic themed album, Danger Days?
So this one I am completely new to. After
Okay.
Welcome to the Black Parade, I kind of fell off from them. I won't say I fell off. I had what I liked, and I didn't want to go and ruin it. And I hadn't heard. I had one friend that tried it, and they're like, "Oh, this is." Bleh. I'm like, "Okay, well, I have what I like, and I don't want to ruin it."
Right.
So I never even gave it a shot. It is definitely more electronic, with that kind of 80s ish sound. It's got
Mhm.
more microphone moaning, like Led Zeppelin type situation, or something like that.
Uh, Robert
The little
Plant.
Japanese girl on Area, I think her name was, on Party Poison,
Mhm.
had me checking if I was on some kind of weird playlist or something, not MCR
It's
related.
an anime
I was like, what
playlist.
the
What is
heck?
this, man?
What is that?
What is
And
happening, man?
yeah, I was really confused, but I could definitely see a lot of odd influences here for sure.
Yeah.
As a whole, it's not awful. And I really don't get the Dr. D stuff. That talking about weird sound bites.
Doctor Death.
Was it Dr.
Look
Death Defy or something like
alive,
that?
sunshine.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just play me a song, please.
I will say that that intro track into the first one with like the radio DJ, that does get me hyped. We'll give him
Well,
that. It
okay,
does get me hyped.
yeah, but two other times throughout the album that I can remember off the top of my head anyway, and maybe more. I don't know. I can't quite remember, but three times throughout an album having one guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr.
No,
D,
I'm with you
DJ
on
thing,
that. Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I'm with you
But
on
you think
that.
about it, if you look at the things from the 80s that aren't exactly timeless, like what we hear
Right.
on radio,
Right.
that stuff fell off the map for a reason. And I feel like,
Mhm.
you know, Gerard and friends were listening to that stuff.
Right.
Eh,
Yeah.
you know,
I agree.
it's
Oh boy.
okay. I don't think I'm going to play it a lot. There's a couple songs in there that are all right, but
Go. Yeah, I
and
hear you.
actually, the more I listen to it, actually, what was that party poison? Kind of was growing on me. I don't know. I actually
It's
went and
the
looked up
girl,
what she
isn't
was
it?
saying. I was looking up what she said, and I'm like, her voice, it's so poppy and like bubblegum, And then she's talking about got the car full of gas and I don't know, something about going to set the town on fire or so. I don't know exactly what it was,
Wow.
but it was
You're
kind of
not so
brutal
innocent
sounding.
after all.
No, it wasn't. It
Oh
was not as
man.
much as you might think.
No.
But anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, after this
But
album, they're gonna go on hiatus. Eh, they return here recently with a brand new single entitled Foundations of Decay. Have you listened to that one?
yes, yes.
Okay. So real quick before I move on the question, what's your quick little feelings on this single?
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's rather
And it's
long.
a single, right?
It is a single. It is a single. But as a single, it is what, 6 minutes long, something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the darker side of things. I don't know if we're getting back into that hardcore emo days, but
Mhm.
I felt like there's a lot more religious themes in it or something. I mean, even
Mhm.
comparing it to like Modern Undergrowth, if you looked into the lyrics, more so than Modern Undergrowth, I should say.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have
But
to go back and look
anyway,
at that. Okay, so it's obvious that I mean you can just take Gerard Wade. He's got the music, he's got solo projects now, music wise. He's put out, I think, at least one
oh,
solo album. Um, comic books. Um, there's so many side projects from each band member. So they all have things going on in their personal lives, right?
oh
Um,
yeah,
but the other side of that too is like they also were starting to work on new music before the hiatus happened. So, I mean, obviously you have something there. I mean, unless you just decided to trash it and never look at it again. Do you think that we'll ever get a fifth studio album from MCR?
maybe an album. I
Yeah.
don't know that we're going to get that music that they were working on back then.
Right. Right.
I think they very well might have, said, nah, that was for younger me. Today's a new
Right.
day.
Well,
That
and
was
not even,
what,
yeah,
14
not
years
even
ago we were writing that. Nah.
right. Not even asking the fact of like, oh, you think this music that they're writing, just the fact that it's like they were preparing for an album. So
Right.
do you come back from hiatus and say, well, we still had the motivation to make an album? Or did you just like, we're writing music and kind of like, we just don't really feel like doing this anymore. Let's go do our own thing. And then, yeah, you're coming back kind of for like nostalgia reasons. I mean, a lot of people demanded for MCR to come back. Um,
Right. That When We Were
and now
Young
you're just kind of at the
festival, I
point,
think it's
right,
resurrected a few.
right, exactly. So are you at the point where, because you're at the fork in the road, because you're technically back. So are you going to go this way and just go for the cash grab of, well, we're just going to, maybe we might put out some singles here and there and we're going to do a bunch of touring, festivals, whatever.
Yeah.
Or are you going to go, no, we're going to go full fledged in this thing. We are going to make a brand new album. We are going to do, more music, so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see, what the future holds here very soon. But just don't leave
Yeah.
us hanging. Just again, let us know of your intentions. What's the mystery for? Right, Maylene? Right? Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying, buddy. Just saying. Alrighty, let's finish up this episode, Eric, with the usuals. Your favorites, favorite albums, songs, lyrics, riffs, artwork, so on and so forth. The floor is yours, Eric.
Floor. I like floor. I like lamp. But anyway, despite bad references, we've got let's go with favorite album first. I honestly came into this whole thing thinking it was going to be Black Parade, hands down. Punch my ticket and get out of here because that's it right there. That's what I know. That's what I love.
Right.
I've always known Three Cheers, and like I said, a lot of my friends who are still listening to MCR still spin Three Cheers quite often. And after some careful consideration, I think Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge takes the spot for me.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
That's the one.
Hip
The
hip
2 and the 3.
hooray!
Woohoo!
Nice.
So as far as lyrics go, I did look up real quick. I got a translation of Miss Airy on the front of that track.
Yep.
The car has a full tank, so let's put the explosives in the trunk. Life is short, and there are many dangers on the road we walk. So let's dance. There you have it.
Okay.
And then she's somewhere down here close to the bottom too. Do you want to be famous? Are you serious? I want to live forever. I'm going to explode. Yeah.
Look at the world.
It's a little darker than you might originally think with her
Oh my
poppy,
god,
bubblegummy sounding voice.
she's gonna kill me, but she's so cute, man.
That voice, it just can't be true. But anyway, some of their actual lyrics, other than from Airy there, we've got this one's from Bulletproof Heart on Danger Days. This is one of those sing-along type songs, and I really enjoy it. It's I got a bulletproof heart, you got a hollow point smile. I got a photograph dream on the getaway mile. Let's blow a hole in this town and do our talking with a laser beam. Gunning out of this place in a bullet's embrace. We'll do it again.
Dang it, all I can picture is Josh, because that's the lyrics he used at the opening of one of the episodes. And he just goes, what's the laser beam part? What does it say?
Let's see. It is, we do our talking with a laser beam.
Yeah, he's like, dude, they're talking with the laser beams. It's like, oh god, what the heck? He's wearing some sunglasses too. Just yeah. That line delivery.
It is a fun little
hilarious.
sing-along. I enjoy that one.
Yeah.
So are you ready for this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Iconic. I won't even finish it. I'll just let everybody else sing it out there. So when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band.
And so
That's
on.
it. That's all I got.
So forth. You know the rest, people.
Like I said, I don't even need to finish that. It's just so iconic.
Honestly, all you had to say was just like, win.
When I was a young boy.
That's all you had to say. Probably just win. Win. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is just so iconic from them. So let's get down to the top 3 songs.
Okay.
And I did cheat. So number 3 is a pair, but I'll tell you why I cheated after.
Number 3.1.
So I went with The Black Parade and Famous Last Words.
Oh, and 3.2. I didn't know you were going to do both of them at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So I put them together because the original, like the music videos, they kind of went together. Because first one, you had the parade float, and you're going through this busted-looking city, and you're having a crazy-looking some sort of parade. And then Famous Last Words. Yes. Very crazy looking. And then it's now nighttime. That parade floats on fire behind them as they're playing, one of the most iconic songs next to the Black Parade.
Yep.
And it's like I said, it's on fire. It's just, they go hand in hand. So it's really hard to separate them in my mind, at least.
Yeah.
I got both of those for number 3.
Okay.
Anyway, number 2.
Number 2.
I went with 3 Cheers off of Oh, from Three Cheers, that is.
So I was like, I'm not
It is
familiar with
To
that
the
song.
End.
To
Yeah, it's
the
Three
End.
Cheers.
Nice. Nice. That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
And then for the number one spot, as of today anyway,
Number one, temporarily.
is The Ghost of You.
Ooh, okay. Okay. At the end of the world, or the last thing I see, you are never coming home. Never coming home.
Never coming home, never coming home.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Those are Black Parade, Famous Last Words, To the End, and Ghost
Man.
of You. Really, really good songs. And that
Not
really,
not a
those kind of, for me, they define that era. That
yeah.
whole, middle section. Wonderful, wonderful. So,
I, just we talked about it before. There's not a flat spot on Three Cheers.
not at all.
Oh my gosh, if I had a gun to my head again for favorite song on there, it's my favorite album. Oh man, it's either
These are the hard ones, the hard questions.
yeah, it's either Hang 'em. Is it Hang 'em High? No, is it Hang 'em High? now I'm questioning myself if that's what it's called.
I want to say yes, but
Um, yeah, I'm trying to pull it up real quick just in case. Yeah, Hang 'em High. Okay, that for some reason when I said that
yeah.
didn't sound right. It's either Hang
And then
'em
like
High.
Great Line, Grand Line.
Yeah, exactly. It's either Hang 'em High or the finale. I never told you what I do for a living. It's just,
Mm,
man, the way they go on Hang 'em High, just so good, like chaotic, man. Just the way you start out is chaotic, and then the way you end it, just with like, it's like, oh god. Plus, with the Western theme helps too. So,
right.
yeah. Final thoughts, Eric, on the band known as My Chemical Romance.
I had really forgotten how much I liked this band, especially Black Parade, Three Cheers. That really got me rolling in some of that good old nostalgia. If for this is the PSA portion here, if that rock you've been under for the last 2 decades or so has finally started to crack and you want to try something out, give these guys a shot. Uh, Definitely a good entry point would be Three Cheers or Black Parade, either one really. So go get your eyeliner and clean up your looks with all the lies in the books. They're going to make a citizen out of you.
Yeah,
Did you know on Spotify currently that's their top song?
teenagers, yeah,
Teenagers
and that's like,
by like a couple million. Like I
yeah,
was blown away. I was like, because I know in the original
that's
episode you and Josh didn't like it.
yeah,
Like you
it
guys were
never
almost to the
did
point of
it for
saying it's a
me.
throwaway.
Yeah, it just
Like
doesn't
I don't
feel
know.
like I just don't understand like what does he do with the story, you know? It feels odd. It just feels like it doesn't fit, you know? That's just how we feel about it.
But
It's
it's a
it's
sing
their
along.
it's well, and that's the thing about it. It's their anthem song. It's just like the
It
song on "I'm Not
is
Okay" or on Three Cheers. It's,
right.
it's it's the "I'm Not Okay" version of on the Black Parade. And it's just I don't know,
Yeah.
and it just kind of got repetitive to us, and we're just like, skip. Yeah. I was gonna say, if you've never heard this band before, you have literally been living under a rock. I don't know, like, and I don't know if I've ever met anybody in like that likes like the music that we like that's never at least heard of My Chemical Romance. You
Well,
know?
even it played on radio stations.
Oh
So
yeah.
even if
Oh
you're our
yeah.
age, generally speaking, you've probably heard at least one of their songs.
Right,
So
exactly. Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, if you haven't ever heard of them, like holy cow, I don't know where you've been,
Yeah.
Siberia or something with no signal at all. But I mean, honestly, if you like anything punky, a little bit of emo from back in the day, give them a shot. And if you haven't listened to MCR in 5 or 6 years, like me, get in there and listen to them again. It's been a fun
Get
ride.
in there,
Lots of nostalgia.
man. Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah, I
nostalgia.
agree.
I've been enjoying it. So
Alrighty, let's get
absolutely.
on out of here, Eric. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at @IsSurviveByPro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. We have the History of the Cores podcast the father to this very podcast right here, where me and Josh sit down and we go through the history of a band from the core genre, discography, and fun facts, etc., galore. There is also the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons of the BBC/Netflix hit show, The Peaky Blinders, soon to be an episode covering the movie. Or episodes. Who knows? We got to get the movie first. And there's also the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1. Very soon to be season 2. We are super excited for season 2 of HBO's House of the Dragon. And in the off season, we are covering chapter by chapter of George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. And here we go. Oh, it's already rising. If you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived by Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. Bum. Alrighty. Till the next episode. We'll see you.